Greetings everyone, my name is Resid, I'm originally from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and today with my colleague Dunja from Serbia, we are going to speak about building bridges between our two countries. I'm sure that many of you are already familiar with my country, but let me just give you a few words of introduction. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a small country in the heart of Southeast Europe. It borders Serbia and Montenegro in the east and Croatia in the north and the west. Bosnia has an estimated population of 3.5 million, consisting of three major ethno-national groups, Bosniaks, Serbs, Croats, and others. After the breakup of Yugoslavia, a 1,000-year-old statehood was renewed in 1992 when the country gained independence and international recognition. However, political elites of mainly Bosnian Serbs did not like the idea of independent country and decided to start a war which grew into the international conflict and resulted in Srebrenica genocide. The war was stopped by Dayton Peace Accords in 1995, and today Bosnia and Herzegovina has a complex political system implemented after the signing of the mentioned peace accords. As a consequence, we have a peace deal that divided the country by its ethnic lines and limited cooperation of different levels of governing. However, it brought back peace to the country, and the peace has been sustainable until today, although there were challenges. The complicated decision-making process and unwillingness of political elites to reach a compromise made the country's recovery process extremely hard. The country therefore fell into dependence of international actors who were involved in the state building from the early stages in order to monitor implementation of the peace agreement and to help build the country's institutions. The role of High Representative was introduced, and until this very day, it remains the highest legal authority in the country. Although Bosnia shares a bloody past with its neighbors, since early 2000s, things started to change. Traveling is fairly easy since people can travel the region only with their personal ID cards. So we invite also youth activists in other post-conflict societies to lobby and work hard to secure freedom of movement, since this policy plays a significant role in creating direct communication and development of economic ties between former conflict sides. Let's not forget that freedom of movement is one of the foundations of the European Union, and that the Union itself is one of the most successful, if not the most successful, peace projects in history. Incidents occur over time, but there were no major security incidents in the recent year, and ordinary people live side by side in peace. People of neighboring countries are warm, welcoming, we easily understand each other, and we share a sense of humor and the welcome mentality. During the years, there were numerous positive steps taken by the population of both countries in order to build bridges between nations. Today, we can witness some positive changes, although the war left visible scars and there's still a long way to go. Within our own country, there are still divided schools and local communities, and the ethnically based political system favors division, which is challenging for peace building within the country and also in the region. Nevertheless, Bosnia and Serbia signed various bilateral agreements such as dual citizenship allowance, mutual recognition of legal documents, certain social benefits like health insurance are transferable. Both Serbia and Bosnia are signatories of the free trade agreement. So we also recommend creation of strong regional network in post-conflict societies and lobbying among high-rank funds and international organizations to support such initiatives. In the last 2 decades, we have witnessed quite a few political initiatives aimed to foster regional cooperation and development. And today we are going to mention some of the most important ones, at least for us. One of the most important initiatives launched at the meeting of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the Southeast European Cooperation Process in Sofia in 2008 is the Regional Cooperation Council. The goal of the body is to support the economic and social cooperation and synergy of the region. We also have the Regional Youth Cooperation Organization, Popular RICO, which aims to connect youth by various project activities. And thanks to this initiative, some of us took part and developed a regional project between Bosnia and Serbia in the fields of peace building and environment protection. Youth Initiative for Human Rights has its offices in Bosnia and Serbia too. The organization is devoted to include youth in the peace building process through community engagement, site visit, youth camps, and various other activities. Balkan Investigative Reporting Network is a network of non-governmental organizations promoting freedom of speech, human rights and democratic values in the Southern and Eastern Europe. Balkan Investigative Report Network has its also offices in both countries. Let's also not forget the sport. Worth mentioning are sport initiatives. The joint basketball ABA League and handball SEHA leagues can be considered to be a positive example of regional cooperation. Our message for the future is following. As it was mentioned in the beginning, we can definitely assure you that the relation between our two countries is relatively better than it was in the recent past. Political tensions are still widely present, but the conflict was not renewed. The civil sector, with the help of foreign sponsors, is trying to push things forward, but it's not easy. As we could witness from the latest development, the political elites are still to reach a common ground when it comes to the future of the region. The economic situation is not satisfactory, and many young people are leaving both countries. The brain drain and the negative demographics are emerging problems. As we have shown by our own example, young people from our two countries can work together towards a common goal. However, for the significant change, we will need broad support from our fellow citizens and young counterparts in order to change things for the better. Young people have to find a way to recognize Srebrenica genocide, recognize each other's pain, respect each other, and work together to build bridges for a better tomorrow. Over to you, Dunja.
Thank you so much, Dunja. You can go ahead.
Thank you. So, the dominant political approach pursued here in the Western Balkans, when we speak about Serbia and Bosnia, testifies that the region's past is marked by intolerance, religious and ethnic divide, as well as the conflicts and war dictated by the moves of certain political actors. We, thinking generation, are now facing a challenge: how to redefine those value systems imposed in the past by many of the politicians in this area, which said the following: the more emphasis is placed on national identity, the better the chance that you will win an election. 26 years after the end of the war, space for bilateral and regional cooperation is finally opening up. The field that has truly remained open and free for cooperation, and in which we can often hear that we are the same people, is the one that concerns not official, but people's democracy, and is led by young people for their initiatives and projects. We, youth, are now ready to build a new world in which we will promote what unifies us, not what separates us, following messages sent by those like Pope Francis regarding overcoming differences between nations. Let us realize for various joint projects that show that the idea of unity is far more greater than those of hatred, and that together we can refute the faith that the Balkans are the barrel of gunpowder, and that the peace on it is just an illusion. As an example, I would like to draw is Youth Biennale, an event organized in 2021 by ULUS, in which artists from both countries had exhibitions, workshops, and performances on a theme of a common language, show what we looks like, erasing the divide between them and us. I also single out the Conference on Scientific Journalism. In this house of science, ethics has replaced ethnics, and other differences among nations, imposing a discourse in which truth, critical thought, and work are of key value. However, I would like to say that the work of UN Office here is very much crucial in running a series of programs in which young people from all of the countries are involved in. More recently, I was a pre-COP delegate at the summit in Milan, which brought together people from 197 countries. There, we worked on a task of finding a solution how to put an end to climate change. And believe me, the least important thing was whether and from which country you come from. There, we participated in a war, but this time on the same side of the front, against the real enemy, climate change. From all said above, conclusions can be drawn that this generation has the potential to declare a peace, a lasting value, that we can and must work on formulating a new worldview in which equality, togetherness, and coherence are key connection points. Manifestations, exhibitions, socializing, joint presentations, and visits of each other are necessary to achieve this. That rampart, once built, will never be able to be teared down by any political act again. Thank you.